Go. Alright, welcome to another lovely blog post. I'm your host and blogger, Rob Tate, aka Sports and Sneakers, with my guest at this time.
Rob Alvarez, how's it going, everybody?
Alright, so we're going to talk a little bit about race in sports, and there have been a lot of racial incidences that have happened over the past week and a half that have to be talked about. And, it gives me a great idea to start a blog post about race in sports, and it's a very interesting topic. You have Donald Sterling, owner of the LA Clippers, or now former owner. He was banned for life by Adam Silver following a racial epithet caught on tape by his then girlfriend or secretary, whatever you'd like to call her. And that leaked to TMZ, got back to the commissioner, and the commissioner has absolutely laid down the hammer on him, and he is banned for life. He will probably be forced to sell his team in the following year. Also, PK Subban with an incredible power play goal last night against the Bruins in Game 1 of the second round of the NHL playoffs. Taking nothing away from the man, he played absolutely incredible. But, of course, there are the Bruins fans that want to
make everybody else look bad.
Thank you. And call him the N-word and yell out racial epithets towards Subban, whose brother Malcolm Subban is in the Bruins organization in the minor leagues. His brother Malcolm,
which further just shows the ignorance and bigotry of some of these people.
Right. So, what are your thoughts on Sterling and also the epithets towards Subban and other NHL players such as Wayne Simmons, in other words?
Well, and to cover the NBA perspective on that, I'm glad Adam Silver did what he did. That was, to be only commissioner for 3 months, he absolutely gave this guy exactly what he deserved. There's no room for that, especially in a sport like the NBA, where it's 78% African American, not to mention such a large African American fan base. You can't be saying those things. There's no place for it, and I think it's good if they can get him to sell the team and just, move on from him as much as they can.
Right.
So you want to go to the NHL perspective as well?
Right. Also, you have, like I said, in the NHL, you have Subban, you have Simmons in Philadelphia.
It's definitely far less than other sports, but yeah, there's definitely well-known players in the NHL. They're African American as well. They're actually African Canadian, a lot of them.
Right.
But to see what the Bruins fans did last night, and unfortunately this has become a bit of a trend because a couple years ago the same thing happened against the Washington Capitals. One of their black players scored a game-winning goal in Game 7, and Twitter exploded with all these horrible hatred comments and whatnot. Same thing. The thing that makes it tough to me is you wonder how many people are actually meaning what they say and how many people are just saying stupid things in the moment.
Right.
That's what I kind of wonder about. How many of them can you really take seriously? How many of them are just, well, you know what, they're just ignorant people.
Right.
Who are going to regret it eventually.
And I mean, you mentioned, it blowing up over social media and everything else. Do you sort of blame social media for this? And do you agree that it doesn't only allow the bigots to talk and spew their hatred, but also it opens up the conversation for intelligent sports fans like us who aren't as ignorant to race?
I think there's two things involved. The first thing is the actual fans, the ones that always stick by their team, they end up getting hurt by this because it makes them look bad. Second of all, yes, social media is a huge problem with this because it gives these people a voice to say what they want. It allows them to put this stuff out there where they should have been just keeping it to themselves and not sharing it with anybody. But social media gives you that audience where if you put that out there, thousands of people can see it within a matter of minutes. And it's unfortunate that racial slurs are trending in 2014 because of it.
Okay, final question. Do you think there will be a time where there is no racism in sports?
Unfortunately, I don't see it changing. I mean, it's certainly a lot less than, and certainly not as serious as it was 50, 60 years ago, where you had people, sending death threats and actually wanting to go after people. Now it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's harmless because the words still hurt and they're not good, but I have to take into account a lot of this stuff being thrown out there is just stupid. It's just nothing, there's no base to it. And I think that's just where it's going to be at. Can you get rid of it? Probably not.
Right.
but you just have to know how to channel it. And I mean, when players are out there playing game to game, you hope that they're not being called it in person. A lot of people can see this stuff behind the computer, but not in person.
In the past 60 years, sports have made a huge improvement as far as race goes. The NFL has rules in place called the Rooney Rule that requires all NFL teams to, when looking for a coaching vacancy, at least interview one African American candidate. Baseball has tons of African American players, although that number has dropped considerably considering the influx of Spanish American players and Spanish players in general. Hockey, while having 1%, has some of the best, as Rob mentioned, African Canadians in the world, and basketball makes up 78% of their entire association is African American, including the fans. Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream that one day I will not be judged by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character." That dream still lives today, and although it's still not rightfully attained, we are getting closer. Thank you.